In this episode of Automation Unleashed, I'm going to show you how to create confirmation and reminder sequences for the calendar in HighLevel. And in addition to that, I'll also show you how to create reschedule sequences for no-show use cases and canceled meetings. Because yes, you can just take the standard settings within the HighLevel calendar and you can create simple notification emails once you click on edit here on the calendar and you go to notifications and additional options. You can send basically notifications to the contact, the assigned user, or any additional email. But these notifications and acknowledgement emails, they're not customizable pretty much, and you want to unleash that power of automation within HighLevel. So let's go back to this tab and have a look at some of these automations in here. Let's start with calendar confirmation and reminders. And within this workflow, basically, we'll have to create a trigger at the top for that once an appointment is booked in a specific calendar, and you can filter this down by a calendar and say, hey, only trigger this for this calendar or this calendar. Or if this should just apply to all of your calendars, you could just delete this and say, hey, if an appointment is booked in all calendars, then trigger this. I'll just hit cancel here because usually people have multiple different calendars and we only want to trigger certain things for certain calendars and other things for other calendars. So that's why it makes sense to filter it down and say, hey, in this calendar, and in this calendar, I want to trigger these reminders and confirmation emails. But if it's another calendar, I actually want to send something else and create a separate workflow with separate messaging. And once you have one workflow for one calendar, it's actually pretty easy to just hit duplicate workflow, duplicate it all, and just change the trigger at the top for that specific calendar. But let's continue and let's look at some of these actions down here that'll happen once the trigger is triggered. So we'll add a system note. Basically, these notes just help us keep track of what all happened within this contact. And we're saying, hey, this contact scheduled a call with this user for this time. This is their phone number. This is the message that they might have left while scheduling that meeting. So a simple system note. And just to show you real fast where those system notes are stored are basically once you're in the contacts in a CRM on a specific contact, you can click up here on to notes and then all of the previous notes will show up. So this automation right here, and those notes have the day, the who created them, and the note itself. And so this automation right here, this action step will basically create this note that you define right here. Since we do have these other workflows of canceled meeting and no-show, and they're basically nurtures trying to reschedule the meeting, we do remove people from those workflows once they booked an appointment, because we don't want to ask them to reschedule if they've already booked the appointment. Then we'll send a confirmation email, and you can put from name, from email, a subject line into this confirmation email, and it can be a simple confirmation email like this one. Hey, we've received your request to schedule a call. This is to confirm your call has been scheduled at your requested date and time, and then the meeting time. So this time will actually populate once you book a meeting on the calendar. It'll populate with the exact time and time zone of that meeting. And you can also add stuff like the meeting location, which you define on the calendar, and simple links to add it to your Google Calendar or Outlook and iCalendar as well. And so all of these words in brackets here, they're considered custom values, custom fields, and they'll be populated with the contact data, the appointment data, the appointment meeting location once you actually book it in the calendar. And so you can send these test emails down here as well, but to actually populate this data correctly, you need to go to an actual calendar, book an actual meeting, and then it'll actually populate the most realistic way. Just a little FYI. And the main advantage of using custom values like this up here in the from name, from email is that, for example, if you get a new teammate who's also going to work on your team in your company, and you want to change all of these emails, like this email right here, let's say this email right here, this email down here, instead of having to go into each and every of those emails to change the from email, if you just have it defined in a custom value on the back end, it'll be super easy to just change the custom value once and it'll update all the emails on the front end. So it's a smart way to structure things, but it can be a little bit overwhelming and complicated at first. So it's up to you if you want to do that. But to fill in this custom value from email, for example, all you have to do is go into, another tab. We'll click on settings, custom values right here. The name of that custom value was from email. So I'll just type in from email right here. And here we go, from email address, custom values dot from email. So if we just double check here, custom values dot from email, it's the same custom value. And so now if I edit this custom value by hitting the three dots and put in something like my name or whatever and hit update here, now that this my name custom value is in here, if somebody received this email, the from email would say my name. So after that confirmation email, I do recommend also sending a confirmation SMS if you want to and if you have the ability to, because if your clients are international, it's going to be hard to send a confirmation SMS. But if you're located in the US, for example, that's very much possible. And so this one's very simple again. Hey, contact first name, Jenny, whatever. Thanks for scheduling a call with us. We're looking forward to speaking with you soon. Appointment start time and time zone. Talk soon. And then your business's short name. Again, all of these custom values. And this time, I just wanted to show you, if we go back to the email here, this was just hard-coded with words in here, but you do actually have these templates and snippets that you can use for SMS and email. And so this is a snippet. I cannot edit this in here right now. I can only edit this SMS once I actually go to the section where it was created. So we'll have to go back here and we'll have to go into marketing, into email or templates and snippets right here. And this is where you would edit the snippet. So the name of this snippet here, for example, is Z001, scheduled appointment SMS 0. And so if I go again into the section over here, I can see that the Z001 SMS 0 confirmation is right here, and I could hit edit here and I can edit it from in here. And the main advantage of having these snippets and these templates is that if we wanted to use this in a separate SMS, we actually could. So I could go to this contact. Again, this is an SMS, but I could click here, SMS. I could select the snippets and I could select that snippet from this list right here. Let's say I want to use this template and I'll pre-populate it with what we have created. So let's continue down this workflow. Then we'll go ahead and we'll add a tag after the confirmation messages, new lead, scheduled a call. We'll send internal notifications via the app right here. So here we can send internal notifications via email, app, or SMS. This one's via app with this message right here. Click to open the app, schedule a call, or schedule the contact, first name and last name, scheduled a call with you for this time. And if you open the app, it'll actually bring you to the conversations tab within the app. So if you want to send them a message or something, you can, and I'll do that to the assigned user. And we'll also send an SMS internal notification to the assigned user as well with the same message. If we keep scrolling down, we'll actually create an opportunity in the pipeline stage. And this will be in the main pipeline. You can do that in any pipeline if you want, but I recommend keeping as many leads as possible in one pipeline because it can be overwhelming to switch between different pipelines within HighLevel. And I think if you all have it just in one pipeline, it encourages leads not to slip through and you not to overlook leads. So it's going to add it to this pipeline stage with this opportunity name. And I do like these custom values in these opportunity names, because if this was an opportunity for a certain product or whatever, you could actually add it to this name for a certain calendar. So it's a very flexible way to keep it all in one pipeline again, but then have different names and have those different names created at the same time. And so opportunity source right here, for example, we're putting in the calendar name. So if you have one calendar for product A, then that'll be there, but one calendar for product B, that'll be there as well. And if we continue down, we'll remove other tags from this contact. So this is a preference. Some people like to keep all tags on all contacts, but other people like to actually remove the tags that don't apply anymore. So if somebody's scheduled a meeting and they're, on this calendar confirmation and reminder sequence, then you could remove the tags attempted to contact lead, canceled appointment, contacted lead, no show, unable to contact lead. So if you want to do that, you can. If you don't, you could actually just delete this step entirely, or just the tags that you don't want to delete. We'll actually add another system note that the contact has been added to the meeting reminders for the appointments. And then so I guess, yeah, the first part is like the appointment confirmation part. And now the reminders pretty much start. So we'll wait 1 day before the actual event. And that'll look like this: one day before the appointment, 1 day right here. And we pretty much usually want to have this skip all outbound communication actions toggle on as well. And then 1 day before, we'll send the email reminder 1 day before. Again, this is a template with this messaging: hey, your appointment is in a day at this time. And we'll also send a reminder via SMS. That'll look pretty much like this. And then we'll wait 1 hour before. And so if you want to change the times of these and you're like, hey, actually, I don't want an hour before and a day before. I actually want it 2 days before, and I want it 2 days and 4 hours before, or 74 hours before. Then you can just change the actual time down here. And this up here is just the action name. So the action name and the times here should always match up. So I'm just going to hit cancel here. But the action name is pretty much what's written right here. So if I write something like that, that'll be the action name. But I don't want to mess this up right here. So I'll go ahead and delete this for now. And we'll just save the action like this again. So wait 1 hour before, 1 hour reminders via email. Pretty much similar messaging. 1 hour reminder via SMS. Short and simple messaging. And then here we're waiting 10 minutes before. So same action step. And if you're rebuilding this, or you want to rebuild something similar, then it's always good to use this copy action and copy all actions from here, because the SMS and the emails are very similar. You can just copy this action and you could copy it down here, for example. So after the 10-minute wait, we're going to send an internal SMS to the user saying like, hey, you have an upcoming appointment with this contact, be ready. And again, you could easily delete that. And then we're actually sending a reminder to the user as well. And some people are very fragile when it comes to these appointment confirmation and reminders. They're like, hey, these are too many reminders. So you could have different sequences for different people and be like, hey, some people want to receive 3 reminders, some people want to have 2. I appreciate 1 day and 1 hour before. I don't need a 10-minute before. And all of these meetings should be on their Google Calendar or whatever calendar they have. So yeah, preference, But I've heard some funny stories from friends where they were like, hey, I sent them 3-4 reminders, and the lead or the contact, they freaked out. They really complained. So everybody's different in that sense. This is an interesting thing here that we're doing now, and you can definitely keep or delete this step. We're waiting 2 minutes before the appointment, and we're actually going to create an automated call to the user, so internally. And so if you want to read what this does exactly, you can read this here. But basically, if a user is assigned, it'll call the user and it'll send this whisper message saying like, hey, you've got a call with this lead, press 1, and it'll actually connect them and connect them to the lead and their phone number if they press 1. So pretty interesting step. We'll add a task where we basically want people to update a certain form after the call and basically tell us, how did the meeting go? Did we sell the lead? Did we not sell the lead? So this is pretty much, a good reminder, a good task that'll be due in 2 days. If you want to make it due in 1 day or whatever, you can. And basically just prompts the assigned user to do his job and tell us how the meeting went. So just to visualize real fast what such a form could look like, here's the status update form pretty much. And once we open it up, we have a first name, last name of the contact. We could say, hey, this appointment status was they no-showed. And if they no-showed, let's trigger the no-show sequence. They showed, they were sold, they were not interested, unqualified. If they were sold, what was their value? Internal notes that are never sent to the client. External conversation recap notes that could be sent an email to the client. And then if yes, we want to send the external notes, yes or no. And then we could also add a follow-up date to the client's contact in the CRM. And again, once you submit a form like that, you can create a whole new world of automations and triggers that you might want to trigger. And so this is a big branch, a big tree of, hey, once you selected on that form no show, let's go ahead and put them into the no-show sequence, and let's move them into the pipeline. Let's update the appointment status, and let's try to no-show and reschedule them. And these automations do have to align with the other automations. So let me know if you have any questions around that. Just comment them down below. But a very cool form and a very cool action step with a task right there. And next, we're not only gonna basically create that task for the employee to submit that form, but we're actually going to send them an SMS to the assigned user as well, and then just a simple wait 3 hours step. And so I actually like these messages, the SMS reminders, the email reminders. They're very simple, kind of boring, and so I actually went ahead and created an AI prompt for you guys to customize the messaging to you. This prompt is a simple prompt. If you haven't yet, I recommend watching my AI Unleashed system and masterclass that'll teach you how to create prompts like this within seconds. But this one says, you are Email Sequence AI, a premier expert in crafting value-driven appointment confirmation and reminder email sequences tailored to specific niches and businesses. And you can read through the rest of the prompt, just pause the video. But basically, we'll give the AI some input like business niche, what's your target audience, what's your unique value proposition, what's your tone and style, additional information like that. And then I just gave it some examples of my current appointment confirmation and reminder emails like this right here. And I would do it separately, one for email, one for SMS. And then it basically gave me some examples. So here's an example for an HVAC business. I just told it to create its own input pretty much. And it's like, hey, this is for HVAC, for homeowners of small business owners who need an installation of an HVAC AC system. And it filled in the information, and then it came up with a confirmation email. So the subject line is, your HVAC service appointment is confirmed. Hi, contact first name. Thank you for choosing Joe's HVAC for your HVAC needs. We have received your request and are pleased to confirm your appointment, date, time, service type, technician, location. So all of this is possible within HighLevel as well. And basically the way I see it is like HighLevel is the infrastructure. It's the IT that we need, and AI are the words that we need to put into it. So I love using AI for that first draft that just needs a little bit of touch up to create powerful email sequences, SMS sequences, Facebook ads, whatever that is. AI is great for inspiration of words. That's why it's a large language model. And HighLevel is the database, the infrastructure that you need to take those words, to take that knowledge from AI and distribute it into the world. And yeah, the email goes on, what to expect. A certified technician will promptly arrive, will perform a comprehensive assessment of your HVAC system. And it basically goes on with personalized email reminders for HVAC businesses, email 2, email 1. And then I was like, hey, give me another example for a health coach. And it did a really good job at creating the same or similar confirmation emails for a health coach as well. So whatever niche you're in, I definitely recommend using AI for that first inspiration. And again, it's a simple prompt like this one that can lead to great output like what we just saw. So that was the calendar confirmation and reminder workflows. And we'll fly way faster through these next sequences with the no-show and canceled meeting and let's reschedule sequence. And so just how I used this AI prompt here for appointment and confirmation reminder email sequence, you could easily edit this and say, hey, actually somebody no-showed and now I need to get them back on the call, and now create a nurturing sequence for people that no-showed. Now create a nurturing sequence for people that canceled the meeting, because those are two little bit slightly different use cases. And those are still hot leads, and we definitely want to get them back on the calendar if they no-showed or canceled. So let's go and have a quick look at the no-show sequence. The trigger that you'll be using at the top is a little bit different. You'll basically say, hey, everybody's whose appointment status is no-show, we want to add them to the sequence. And let me show you real fast how to tag this appointment status as no-show. Once you start booking appointments to your calendar, you can basically go on calendars and then click on appointments up here. So once you're in here under appointments, you can basically see all the scheduled appointments for all your different calendars, all the different times, all that stuff. And it's always or you can set it up so that it's always confirmed at first. And once you click on here, you could say, hey, they showed, they no showed, they canceled, or it was an invalid meeting. And this will all actually flow into your appointment report under reporting here, and it'll give you data of how many showed, how many no showed, how many canceled. So it's very interesting appointment data so that you can use to make data driven decisions within your business. Back to the workflow, once we tag it right there where I just showed you as no show, this will trigger, it'll wait 30 seconds, it'll add a system note that they no showed, it'll add the tag no show, it'll add them to the pipeline stage, no show in your pipeline. It'll send app internal notifications to all users or to a certain user. Certain contact didn't show up. Jeff didn't show up to the appointment that was scheduled on blah, blah, blah. Let's get him rescheduled. It'll also send an SMS to the assigned user. Hey, let's get this guy rescheduled or this gal. And then it'll send the external SMS with the rescheduling link, something like, hey, you missed your appointment, but no worries, it happens. Let's go ahead and reschedule you for another time that suits you better. Please click here to reschedule. And again, I would take SMS like this and I would feed it to an AI or to a large language model, ChatGPT, Claude, whatever you want to use. Give it some examples like this down here. Use a simple prompt like this up here and create value-driven rescheduling sequences for your SMS rescheduling campaign and for your specific business and your specific niche. The same with the email. Hey, let's get you rescheduled. Ooh, ah. My little brother does this. Ooh, ah. And I hate that. So if you hate it as well, definitely delete that. We missed you and we missed you and reschedule link. Okay. So yeah, interesting wording. I might change that one day. Yeah, simple message. Hey, you missed your appointment, but no worries. It happens. Very similar to the SMS. Then we'll wait 20 hours and we'll send the SMS again. We'll wait another 48 hours. And this is basically a nurture. So these were hot leads. They scheduled a meeting with us, but they no-showed and we want to get them back on the calendar. And so I'm pretty aggressive with my rescheduling and my no-show templates and stuff. So if they were a hot lead and they were expressing interest in our business, they scheduled a call and then they no-showed, let's keep hitting them up pretty much. Let's nurture them until they either tell us to stop and they opt out, or they book another call kind of. And so you can decide how aggressive you want to be there. But this is the nurture part. So we're going to wait 48 hours, send them an SMS number 3, like, hey, sorry we missed you. We're going to wait another 12 hours, and then we're going to send another email. And so you could decide, do you want to send SMS and email at the same time, or just SMS or just email? But the wording's always very similar. And again, I would definitely use AI to create the sequences. When it comes to nurture sequences like this, in the settings here, we definitely want to make sure that we have allow re-entry on. So if they no-show multiple times, they can re-enter. And we want to have stop on response on. So if they respond to this nurture and are like yes or no, we want to actually take them off of the nurture. So if they said yes, they don't get SMS number 3 and email number 2. So with nurture sequences in HighLevel, it's always very important to have stop on response on. And last but not least, we'll have a look at the canceled meeting, let's reschedule campaign right here. And it's very similar to the no-show. So we're going to fly through this one very fast as well. Basically, the trigger up here isn't no-show, which we had earlier, but instead it's canceled. So once somebody cancels a meeting in a specific calendar or any calendar, so that's where right now it's set to any calendar. But if you were like, hey, actually, I want to just have this for this specific calendar and the other ones have a different one, you could definitely set that up. Similar, waits 30 seconds, adds the system notes, updates the appointment status to canceled, adds them to the no-show canceled, so to the same pipeline stage, adds the tag canceled. And that's the I guess the main difference between the no-show and the canceled, that we can add different tags depending on what they did. We can remove tags like this one. We'll send an internal notification that the meeting was canceled. We'll add a task to follow up. I think we could do that on the no-show as well. I don't think we did that there, but if you wanted to add that, you could. This is just a task notification that's due in 1 day. and then we're going to send internal SMS notification and external SMS cancellation. Hey, your meeting has been canceled per your request. If this was done by accident or you would like to reschedule another time, please click here to reschedule. Same or very similar via email, pretty much asking them to reschedule again. And this is where the nurture part starts again. Like, hey, they were a hot lead. Let's nurture them. Let's get them back onto the calendar. Let's wait some time. If they don't reply, let's send them another SMS or email. Let's wait again. And then let's send them another email or SMS. And again, if it's a nurture, we always want to have stop on response on. So if they reply to the nurture, we don't ignore them and we take them off the nurture. So these are pretty simple. And definitely, I highly recommend having these automations for your calendar confirmation and reminders, for your no-show, for your canceled meetings. If you have any questions, just comment them down below. I'm happy to answer. But pretty much, I did it step by step. I clicked on all the little toggles and all the little buttons. Showed you all the messaging. Showed you how you can recreate the messaging with AI for your specific niche or business. So hopefully that was a good overview, so that if you don't have these automations yet in your account, you can recreate them yourself and personalize them yourself. So let me know if you have any questions. I've got some free resources down below, so if you want to check them out, click and check out the link down below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.